In this video, I'm gonna show you how to calculate your estimated net profit by using Amazon's revenue calculator tool. And for this example here, I'm gonna estimate my profit if I were to buy this product on Alibaba, which is a dog knee brace. So heading back over to the revenue calculator tool, there's really two ways that you can use this tool. You can first search Amazon's catalog by finding a similar product, which is what I did here. So I found this product on Amazon that is honestly the exact same product. So here's the product on Amazon and here's the product on Alibaba. They use the exact same image. The only difference is they put their logo on it. So this would be a really good product to use. Amazon already knows all the packaging dimensions and is able to fill out all this information for us. However, I don't think that's the most accurate way of doing this because that product and that manufacturer might be slightly different than ours. So what I like to do is actually head back over to Alibaba here. And if you scroll down, typically you can find the packaging dimensions here. And so under this section here, we can see the packaging size in centimeters. And then also the weight as well in kilograms. So what I can do now is take this and head back over to the revenue calculator and then define my own product. And you can do that by inches or centimeters. And I know it said centimeters, but what I like to do is actually take those centimeters and put them into inches because it's gonna make a lot of what we're gonna do later a whole lot easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so I've converted it from centimeters to inches now. And before I go ahead and estimate, I need to put the category here, which we know is pet products. The item price. So the item price, I could do something similar to this competitor at $48. But what I like to do actually is head over to a search results page for my main keyword, pull up the Jungle Scout extension and see what the average price is of this category, which is around $41, a little bit lower than that competitor product. But what you can do here actually is filter the results, enter 300 in the minimum monthly sales filter. So that's gonna help us find all the products that are in high demand and selling a ton of units. And if I just click apply, we'll see that average price is 38. So in order to be competitive in this category, I'm gonna need to sell at least $38. However, when you first launch your product on Amazon, you're gonna need to convince shoppers to buy your product from you. And the best way of doing that is lowering your price. Remember, you're gonna have 0 reviews when you first launch. So what I like to do now is head over to the filter results again and enter a maximum in the ratings column here. So just show me products that have 300 monthly sales or more and only have 50 reviews. And those products collectively, their average price is around $34. So now I know what my price needs to be at in order to sell hopefully a high amount, which is gonna be around $34 here. So I can head back over to the calculator tool and put 34, I'm gonna go 33 just to undercut those sellers there. And now in the shipping charge here, we're gonna put 0 because we're using Amazon FBA. However, if you're gonna do Amazon FBM and fulfill your own orders, I'm gonna show you exactly how to estimate your net margin as well. So you can still follow along in this video here. So, okay, we've updated our parameters here and I can see right now our Amazon fees and our fulfillment cost and our storage cost for using FBA is going to be around $10.45. However, the January to February storage cost is a little bit different than Q4, and we can see that goes up about 17 cents here. So that's just one thing to note. If you're doing Amazon FBA, the storage costs will fluctuate depending on the time of the year. But let's back up a little bit. So let's talk about Amazon fees real quick. So the referral fee is about 15% of your price, at least in this category here. So you can see that breakdown right here, about $4.95 is the 15% referral fee. And that's the same whether you're doing Amazon FBA or FBM, as you can see here as well. Now, the major difference between FBA and FBM is going to be your fulfillment cost. So with FBA, you're gonna pay for this product around $5.40 for Amazon to pick, pack, and ship out all your products for you and handle customer service and a lot of other things that you don't manually have to do. But if you're fulfilling orders yourself, this is where you need to come in and do a little bit of calculations, which I'm gonna show you how to do just really quickly here. But really, if you're just doing product research, you're just trying to estimate these costs. You don't need to be 100% right. You're just trying to get a ballpark number. So the first major cost you need to figure out if you're fulfilling your own is the packaging material. So boxes, things like tape, anything else you're gonna need to package your products, the boxes is the main one. So a little hack I like to do is to use the company Uline. So they have a great website here where you can just enter in the dimensions and figure out the price per box here. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter those in here real quick. And then clicking search here, we can see exactly what type of box we need, which in this case, okay, so 64 cents if we buy 250, or 60 cents if we buy 500. So let's just assume we're gonna buy 500 of these boxes here, this 12 by 8 by 2, and that's gonna cost us 60 cents. So we can put in 60 cents here. However, that's probably not realistic. If you're buying this online, there's gonna be a shipping cost or things like tape, other little costs that are gonna come in here. It's not going to be 60 cents. So I'm just gonna round up a little bit. Instead of 60 cents, I'm gonna do, let's just go like 75. And that is probably still low as well, but that's the boxes. That's gonna help you get a rough estimate. And then shipping to the customer, this is the biggest one. So a little hack that you can do is head over to a website. I like this website. It's called ldrprep.com. And you can put in those packaging dimensions here. You enter your zip code, so where you're living, and then put a zip code far away from you. So for example, we live in Texas. I'm gonna put our zip code here of our office, and then I'm gonna find a zip code of a faraway city, which is New York. Here I can see, okay, 1001 or whatever that number is. I'm gonna copy and paste that into here, and then enter my dimensions, which was what, 12 by 8 by 2. Okay, by 8 by 2, and then my weight, can just copy that over here. And again, we're just trying to estimate our shipping costs. It isn't gonna be 100% correct, but as we see what pops up here, let's see. So if we want 5-day shipping, there's two options. It's gonna be either $5 or $8, but 2-day shipping is what most customers on Amazon are accustomed to. So that is going to be, in this scenario, $9.43. So that's probably the one that I'm gonna wanna use. And again, this is all estimates. It could be lower than $9, it could be a lot higher than $9, but you're just trying to get a ballpark number. So I'm gonna copy that 943, plug it back into this field here, and then maybe just round up a little bit. It's $9.50. And what I wanna see now is you can actually open up this comparison graph here, is the differences so far. So the revenue obviously stays the same. The customer's gonna be paying you $33. However, the cost and the net profit is drastically different, and we haven't even got to storage yet on the FBM side. So right here, our cost of fulfilling it ourselves and doing a lot more work is $15.20 compared to $10.45. That's insane. And we still haven't factored in our cost of goods yet. I'm gonna get to that in just a moment, but the net profit is $22 for $17 if we let Amazon do all the work for us. So it almost doesn't make sense in our scenario here to come down to the storage cost for FBM and try to figure that out. The way we would do that is probably reach out to some third-party fulfillment companies if we didn't want to hold it in our own apartments or our houses and see what they're going to charge us for, a set amount of units. So that's what we would do, but I'm already well over that, about $4 or $5. So there's no point in me doing that anymore. But that's the process if you're looking to do FBM that you would do. So basically, yeah, reach out to some 3PL companies, or if you're gonna fulfill it or store it yourself, then that would just be a 0 item here. But let's move on real quick. So we've done Amazon referral fees. We've covered FBA fulfillment costs, and there are some extra service add-ons here, but you do not need these. These are all FBA prep that your supplier should do for you. So you definitely don't need any of these here. I'm gonna go ahead and check Q4 here because I always like to put it in a worst case scenario when I'm calculating a net margin. And so coming down here, the average inventory units stored and the estimated monthly units sold, you can keep that at a 1 here. This is basically just telling us every time we sell a product, how much profit we're gonna get back. You can be more accurate if you like and say, I'm gonna buy 500 units and then I hope to sell 500. It's gonna give you the exact same number. So for estimates, I just like to keep it 1-to-1. I'm just trying to figure out how much I'm gonna get back every time I make a sale on Amazon. Now that we've updated to the Q4 storage timeframe, you can see our total cost is $10.62. Okay, now, and the last thing here is our cost of goods. So on Alibaba, it is saying it's going to cost around, $5.28 if we were to buy at least 500 units. So I could bring that over here and add it. However, that's not accurate at all. It's just an Alibaba quote. You want to reach out to the supplier, and you can do that right here in Alibaba by just simply contacting them, saying how many units you're gonna order. And what you're trying to get a total cost of the cost of manufacture and ship it into your country here. And usually it's gonna be a lot more than that $5.28. So what you wanna do, at least what I do here in the revenue calculator tool, is play the game of how much can you spend per unit. And the way you can figure this out is looking at your net margin here. What is a healthy net margin? On Amazon, a really good net margin is anything above 33%, or in other words, a 100% ROI. Now you can think about it this way. For every $1 you spend, you wanna get $2 back. Also, consider the rule of thirds. 1/3 goes to Amazon, 1/3 goes towards your landed cost, and then 1/3 goes back to you in profit. So what that means here is if our selling price is $33, you split that 3 ways, that's $11. So we know right now, let me get rid of this cost of goods here, that our cost per unit on our Amazon fees is $10.62, which means we actually get back 38 cents. Remember, we're looking for $11. We want to get at least $11 back in net profit here. So that means we can spend up to, what is it, at least $11.38 and hit that 33% net margin, which gets us $11 back in net profit. That's the game we're playing here. So when we go back to our supplier and contact them asking for a quote, if they hit us with a number that's anything more than $11.38, then we need to move on to the next product or at least the next supplier. So that's the game you're trying to play. 33% net margin or 100% ROI. And that's just one of the things we teach here on this channel. You wanna make sure the product you're going to sell is going to be very profitable. And if you wanna learn even more strategies, we have a complete hour-and-a-half long tutorial that will teach you everything you need to know about starting your own Amazon business. And you can watch that video right here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.